Okay, so been vegan 17 whatever years, bits of fish and eggs in there. How did I go from vegan to I'm going to eat animal products? Because this is what I was wrestling with. I was just like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. So if you're in that kind of a spot, I completely understand. That is exactly where I was. And like I said, I watched a ton of YouTube videos why I wasn't vegan anymore. Super helpful. And then the next day, my husband was going and he was going to pick up breakfast. And I was like, okay, this is the time to do it, Amy. So I asked him to get me a breakfast sandwich that was English muffin, egg, and bacon, real bacon. And I was like, oh God, what's going to happen? I didn't do a lot of research into like how to reintroduce animal products. But I was just kind of like, I felt like I just had to go for it because I knew if I went too slow, I would go too slow. I knew I just had to like dive right in, or I would go slow and I would second guess myself and I would just not get to where I knew my body was asking me to go. So he comes home, breakfast sandwich, and we're like sitting there and I'm like eating it so slow. So I took the first bite and I was like, I'm so afraid that I was going to be just like completely disgusted. But it tasted good. So I know if you are not eating meat and you're watching this and you're not planning to eat meat, one, why are you watching this? If you're so in your own, like, you know what you want to do, you don't need to watch this. However, if you're thinking about it, I'm going to tell you, it tasted good. It surprised me so much that I actually liked how it tasted. And I ate the whole thing very slowly. My stomach did not hurt. I didn't have nothing, no bloating, no pains, nothing. And I was like, okay. And after that, my body was like, I feel like it was all of a sudden, it was like a switch just clicked. And it was like, give me all the bacon. All the bacon. I wanted all the bacon. So I think when I went food shopping next, I got, so this is what helped me a lot. When I went food shopping, I did my normal food shop, but then, so I'm pretty lucky that where I live, there are a lot of farms near me, which I didn't even know existed. And they all do like regenerative farming. They take care of their animals from, as far as I can tell. They're out in the fields, they're grazing. It's not factory farming. It's, I know it's coming from like right up the road. It made me feel a little better about a lot of things. It made me feel better about it from a health standpoint, that I know there's not a bunch of junk in there besides just what is actually there. It made me feel better knowing I was supporting the local farmers who I could, from everything I could tell, were really trying to bring this like new old way of farming back, where they treat the animals well and let them have sunlight and air and grass and all what they're supposed to eat and not what they're not supposed to eat. So I went to that farm and it felt real weird. I was like, I didn't know what to pick out. I didn't know like what makes what. So I got a bunch of stuff. I did get bacon. I really got like a little bit of everything. I think the next thing I tried to make at home was salmon. And then from there, it was just like, everything. Steak, chicken, burgers. Chicken honestly took me the longest to try. I don't know. I was the most grossed out about chicken, probably because before I stopped eating meat, I still hated cooking with chicken. So maybe that's not surprising, but it took me the longest to try chicken. What I have found is chicken's still like a little gross to me when I'm making it. Some of the meat is still like, I'm still like, who likes to touch raw meat? Nobody, I don't think. What has helped me with that is, one, I'm using my Instapot a lot more. You can do pulled chicken so easy in that. I'll just put, I think it was like 1 cup of water, the chicken, and then I think that's it, just in the Instapot. you just put the cover on, it's like 10 minutes, it does it, and then I like would pull it, so make it like pulled chicken, and then add like honey and mustard to it. That helped me a lot at first because I just didn't like touching the chicken or anything. So that was super helpful. There was something else I wanted to tell you that was super helpful. But basically I just started adding more in, and what I noticed, so I stopped eating a lot of beans. I stopped eating processed, like artificial, what are they even called? Alternative meats. I stopped eating those because, and then I flipped the package over. I'm like, of course, like there's just so much stuff in there that's not real food. And I realized my body really, it likes the real food. The closer I eat to vegetables and animal products, the happier my body is. My stomach has been flatter, not doing any different, I'm actually not exercising at all right now, but I'm really focusing on the way I'm eating. Since I've made that choice back in September, I've been focused even more on getting cleaner food into my body, not just with getting rid of the alternative meats, but getting just most processed stuff, just really not having anymore. And my body's liking that even more. So yeah, that is how I did it. And it was definitely a shift that I freaked out for a few days. So if you're like thinking about it, if you're having health issues, like I said, I didn't notice that I was having health issues, but I have talked to a lot of people who were vegan for a very long time and are having obvious health issues. The other thing that I didn't realize is that most of a vegan diet, when you're eating in a healthy way, is high in oxalates. So that could be something you might want to research. Spinach, kale, beans, chickpeas, hummus, well, because it's from chickpeas, all of that is really, really high in oxalates, which can basically make it so you don't get any of the good stuff and you get some bad stuff. If you're eating so much of that. Oh, and probably nuts too, almonds and stuff, which I was like all I was eating. So I will say I also took a lot of that out at the beginning, so my body could try to reach more of an equilibrium. Okay, so that is how I did it, and how it's going. It's been going pretty good. I feel like I'm able to rejoin like in society a little bit more. It's easier for me to find food. I am still pretty picky about the animal products I do use. I get my eggs from my neighbor that is up the street. That's nice and easy. I get the meat from the farm. When I do go out to eat, I sometimes will order meat. A lot of times I order the vegetarian meal or the vegan meal still, just because I still like how it tastes. And I like to be a little more selective about the animal products that are going into my body. But yeah, it is surprisingly well. I think my husband's happy that we're cooking meat again. I know my parents are happy. They feel like they can feed me easier now when I go to their house. Yeah, okay. That's going to be it for this one. In the next video, I'm going to share kind of some spiritual type messages that came in from going through this journey. So see you in the next one if you want.